All right, people. So very interesting topic for today, converting data into dollars. You know what happened when I talked about this to a couple of people that I'm going to talk about it. Everyone thought that I'm talking about selling the data and then earning money through that, but that's not the way. There are many other opportunities. So let me just talk about that. Let's assume you have a small store and you are selling garments, right? So let's assume that you are dealing in t-shirts and jeans, right? Now this is a small shop. So maybe you have an inventory of around say 5 lakh rupees. So you spent 2.5 lakh rupees in buying t-shirts and 2.5 lakh rupees in buying jeans. And now you've created a beautiful store and people have started coming in. And that's when you realize that, people are coming more for t-shirts than for jeans, right? So therefore, you are able to sell at least 2 lakh worth of t-shirts, but only 50,000 worth of jeans. What is it that you will do?
Increase the stock for shirts.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Right. So from next time onwards, probably what you will do is rather than selling probably jeans at such a huge profit, you will like to, start selling jeans probably at a cost. And now that the money that you're getting back, you will start buying t-shirts and increase your revenue, right? So that is how somewhere this data that you had, now this is a very simple data that how many t-shirts I had, how many were sold, how many jeans I had, how many were sold, and what is happening. So this is exactly how businesses today are using data to get into detail of each and every vertical they are dealing in. So think about a company like Amazon, who has probably what thousands of categories that they are dealing in, categories and subcategories, and I don't know what all, right? So maybe they want to concentrate on each and everything, but at the end of the day, they are promoting on the home pages or through their promotional emails or calls or whatever channels they want to use. They are promoting the categories where they are earning more, or at least they are getting a good return from the consumer, from the say the vendors, right? And there's a very similar experience from any other brand. Like maybe I'll talk about the Zomatos and the Olas and Amazon, because I'm sure most of you are aware about these businesses, right? And going forward, I'll talk about a couple of case studies of how this data was leveraged by me and my team, and that helped the business or the company that we were working for, how they could earn more through that, or they could get more leads through that, right? So very quickly, a bit of a background Pratibha has already given, but let me also talk about, because you need to understand that if you're listening to me, whether I'm a credit worthy person or not, and do I have a relevant experience or not. So overall, I have spent last 16 years. I completed my MBA in 2006 from KJ Somaya, Mumbai. And since then, I got a campus placement in a company called Fractal Analytics. And since 2006 to 2022, it's exactly 16 years. And I have been totally into the field of data analytics, and I've worked across various verticals. A few companies that I have worked for, Fractal Analytics, in totality, I have spent around 6.5 years with that company. EXL and Actis, 1.5 years. Makan Housing, PropTiger, it's a part of the same company. So I worked 3.5 years with that company. And currently I am heading the business intelligence at Ferns and Petals. I joined them around a year back. And it was a very small team, just one person in that company at that time. But now we have created a team of around 10 experts. And we do almost everything, right? From web analytics to, business analytics to dashboarding. And I'll talk about all the various profiles that you can get into. I have provided consulting to many Fortune 500 companies. Visa was my client. And while working for Fractal Analytics, I was actually on site in Visa cards, the credit cards. And I have worked approximately 5.5, 6 years with them, right? Genworth Insurance, BNPP, Barclays, and I don't think I need to talk in detail about these brands. These are global, well-known companies, and of course, Fortune 500 companies. A few tools that I'm not saying that I am a master in that, but yes, I have a proficiency in that. Are basically the SQL, Tableau, Google Analytics, Adobe, Amplitude, and I'm just written 3-4 of them. There are many more, and there are many more tools which are very similar. So it's not that I know Google Analytics, and now if I get into web analytics, any other tool which is into web analytics, 70-80% of them have the same methodology. It's just that they have a different interface. So you just need to master that. And among all the profiles that I've worked on, I think I have expertise in consulting. When I say consulting, basically I help businesses these days in setting up or in reading the data in the right way. It's very it's an art to read the data. I think every day if you read the newspaper, there are so many data points that are given to you. Let's talk about cricket, and maybe you just see a cricket scorecard there, right? And you see that, okay, which country has won the match. But more you get into the data, and you would like to know a few things like, okay, how strong is England compared to Australia, right? How many continuous matches has this team won compared to any other team? How many centuries a particular batsman scoring in the last 20 matches, and probably is in form or not? So there are so many next level questions that keep on coming as soon as you see the data. And this is exactly how it has to be done in organizations also. uh, Companies are spending dollars and dollars in automating, in reporting and everything. They get so many reports every day. This is how my operation metrics are, these are how my supply chain metrics are, this is how my product and marketing metrics are. But and they're just seeing this numbers, right? They are not taking any call on it, they are not taking any action on it, because the right mindset to read these numbers is still missing with even the top notch of many companies, right? I'm not quoting anyone. And this is exactly the consulting that I provide uh, to many top senior level management in most of the companies. I do a lot of work in web analytics. Web analytics is all about that. Now let's assume that I am a web analytics expert of Zomato. I would like to know that, okay, how, are people coming on my app or are they coming on my website, right? I know they don't have a very good website. They want people to come on their app and retain it, because this is more like a daily business. But let's talk about Amazon for this matter. So I want to see whether people are ordering from applications or they are using web portals or mobile websites. Then I want to go to the next level. Are people directly coming on a particular category, say apparels or phones and electronics, or are they coming on a homepage and then searching? What are they seeing? How many of people are adding to the cart but not ordering, and how many days do they take to convert that add to cart to a order, right? So these kind of things is what you need to study a lot. You need to understand the behavior. You need to see that where my consumers are falling out, why, think about why they're falling out, and then try to bring in new products and new features to fix those problems. I do a lot of root cause analysis. So for example, a typical question that comes to me, and this has been from the last 10 years, is, okay, why is conversion rate down? Right. And that's when you need to get into the data and try to understand from every angle. Are we spending more money on paid campaigns and, people are coming, but they are not converting? Or are people coming through organic channels, or they're coming through emails? They're coming through emails, but when they click, the link is not taking them to the website, and that's why it's a visit, but it's no conversions are happening there. Or maybe there's some breakage in the website, and that's why people are unable to get into the next page and then convert or complete their checkout. So these kind of things is what is called the root cause analysis. It looks very simple, but once you have to find an answer, I always say it's like solving a CBI case, right? You know what the problem is, but you don't know who's the culprit behind it, and therefore you need to get into each and every minute detail to figure it out what's wrong. And many times you just think that, okay, I found the culprit, and there was just one culprit, but actually there were 3 4 culprits. So you fix that problem, you track it, and you see there was a bit of an improvement, but conversion has not come back to the same level where it was earlier. That means there are still things which are going wrong, and that needs to be fixed. And the last thing that I do is I do a lot of consulting around dashboard storylines. It's very simple to see, to create a dashboard, right? But what kind of, does one dashboard fit in for all the stakeholders? The answer is no, right? The CEO might just want to see, okay, how's my revenue? How's my profit margin? What is the NPS score that I'm getting? What is the in-time delivery? And how many employees are there? How much is the cost? How much is the margin? Things like that, right? He might not want to get into detail. But once you come to the country head level, that is when they want to see, okay, what is happening now? These metrics, how are they happening in my country versus the rest of the world? Then you come to the category level. They want to see what is happening in my particular category. Am I earning more in electronics, or I'm earning more in apparels, or it's in the food business, or wherever it is? So like this, everyone needs a different cut. and you just cannot give the same dashboard to everyone. So therefore, the design or the layout of your dashboards and the features that should be in that dashboard should be should be planned, and they have to be there has to be deep thinking behind that before you actually create one dashboard with a different views and then release it to different stakeholders. Any questions so far?
No, please continue.
Sure. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's first of all talk about what are the various data profiles. And I can why I want to always emphasize on this part of this part is because as an organizations, and I'm talking about some really big companies, they think that the same person, a same data person can do almost everything, right? It's about saying that you are into real estate, so that means you can construct my complete house, right? So but if you would have actually constructed a house, you would see that there's a different labor who is just building the blocks and creating that infrastructure. Plumber is different. Electrical fitting is done by a different person. The linters are created by altogether a different person. And then all these grills and glass work, that is done by different. There's a different person who's a painter. So they all have a different profiles, but they are all part of saying that I am into real estate or I am into construction of houses, right? Similarly, all these people say that I am into the into profile of data analytics or business analytics, or I'm part of a data world, but every person is very different. His profile is very different. His expertise is very different. His competencies and knowledge of tools is very, very different. And in this complete funnel, you need to figure it out where I want to create my career, what I want to learn, and what should be my area of expertise. Start from there, and then you can always expand your knowledge. So although there are probably 12 or 15 profiles, but I am just clubbing them into top 8. So one is the data engineers. So what does data engineer do? They basically think about how the data has to be stored in the databases, right? The work is only around that, okay, now that people are coming onto my website, I'm storing that, okay, this person came through this channel, he was from this city, he used a mobile device, he came on this page, and then he moved to this page and this page. So he's storing all that kind of a data. Now, just think that every single person, so let's assume on Amazon, one visitor is coming and he's seeing 10 pages. And every day, if 10 million people come on Amazon, so there are 100 million page views I'm talking about. Only page views. This is the kind of a data every day that they are storing. So of course, you need a data engineer who is storing all this data. And then he's writing some kind of ETLs and storing it in data in such a way that the next level of person who's doing a reporting or who has to do some kind of analysis, he's not seeing the 10 million rows. He's just seeing a summary of that, right? And he has access to every kind of a data based on profile, based on city, based on traffic source, based on whatever various metrics he could think of. Then we have data analysts. What are data analysts? Data analysts are the guys who basically create all these reports. So let's assume I, as a data analyst, I'm just showing what is the daily sale number. Now, as an analyst, what I tell is that, okay, the trends are going up or down, and get into the next level that, okay, yes, what we see is that North India is growing, but South India is declining. And that is why your overall sales is declining. Data analysts only work on the kind of KPIs or the metrics that he's tracking. He might not know about the rest of the things. So if you are now asking that, okay, why is my North India not South India degrowing? He might not have that answer, right? The next profile is of a data scientist. What does a data scientist do? Data scientists basically work at the back end, right? And they look into this huge data, the big data word that you have heard about, and they try to create some kind of a clusters, or they try to do some kind of a advanced analytics or prediction, or they create the AI ML related work profiles, and then they work on probably one of the projects in 4 to 6 months. But that one project becomes the core of that company. And he says that, okay, I've worked on this project in the last 6 months. I've created a recommendation engine. So every time now you're coming on Amazon, person A will see altogether a different homepage. Person B will see a very different homepage. And this is all based on what you saw in the past, or what people of your profile have seen in the past. The next profile is of the web analysts. What does these people do? They are usually expert in tools like Google Analytics or Adobe Analytics, and they try to understand the complete journey, where people are coming from, what city they are coming on from on the website, how much time are they spending on a particular page, what kind of a sections they are seeing. Is it that the most relevant section is somewhere down the page, and probably I need to talk to the product team and tell them that, move this section on the top? Are there some features which are available in rest of the market? For example, if you would have seen, there's a heart shape icon nowadays in almost all the on all the portals, which is like add to the wish list, or this is like kind of a product that I like, right? So therefore you need to bring in these kind of features. So this is the profile of a web analyst. He just try to understand, okay, what are people doing on the website when they're on the website? Why are they exiting, or why are they moving ahead? What kind of challenges are they facing, and how do we need to redesign this web portals? Then we have business analysts. So what does business analysts do? Business analysts basically try to look into various metrics and stitch the data. So he will look into the marketing spends, and I'm talking about a very high level data. He's looking at the marketing spends. He would say that, the data analyst said that South India is declining. Why is it declining? Because the visits from the web analyst, I realized that the visits in the South India has actually decreased. So there are lesser visitors coming on the web portals. Why are lesser people coming on my web portals? Because the marketing guy told me that they have reduced the marketing budget in South India. Okay, why they have reduced the marketing budget in South India? Because probably the kind of margins that we were earning in South India were comparatively low, and we don't have much budgets to spend. So this is how he will look into the complete picture on all the web, on all the data points, and then he'll try to stitch it and share this complete story with the stakeholders, or with the head of South India, or with the CEO. And then they have to take the next level of calls, that should we still put in more money in South India, or should we continue the way we are doing? Another profile in the data world is for people who are totally into reporting and automation. When I say reporting and automation, basically what they do is, now they know that I need to provide this daily sales number to the CEO every day. So I'm not sure if anyone would love to wake up every morning at 6 and then download some report and then club it and put it in Excel and send it to the CEO. So they try to write some codes in such a way and then create an email in such a way that automatically at 6 in the AM, it basically goes into the email of the CEOs and the country's head and the regional heads and product analysts, CTO, CFO, whosoever he wants to send it. And there's one email that's going and everyone is getting it at 6 in the morning. So he's automated this complete setup by connecting his email to the data sources and doing the processing at the back end. Then we have the BI specialists. BI specialists, I'm basically talking about people who do a lot of work around the dashboarding, right? They are experts in tools like Tableau or Power BI, and now there are like so many tools available in the market. So their main work is to create these dashboards in such a way that people can play around with it. They have all the applicable filters available. So for example, I have a sales trend line, and now the CEO want to see that, okay, overall sales are like this, they're going up and down. The country heads will select the country filter from the right hand side, and they will see the sales trend of their own countries. The category team will apply in that particular country only for the categories that he's working on, and he will see how his trend is going. So like this, the same dashboard is being given to different stakeholders so that everyone can see the same metrics, drill down of same metrics with all the filters possible. And the last profile is mainly of the people who are like, we call it as the marketing experts or marketing analysts. Their main work is that now that we are spending so much of money on, say, Google PPC or organic traffic, or we are, sending so many SMSs and emails, and we are running Facebook campaigns and LinkedIn campaigns and Instagram campaigns and whatnot. What kind of returns am I getting? Am I getting better returns in city 1 versus city 2, tier 1 level cities or tier 2 cities? If I'm running a TV commercial, what is the impact of that? I'm getting new customers, I'm getting repeat customers, what kind of a lifetime value are they giving? So these are all the things that they talk about. Before I move to the next slide, I have a very special request to all the people who want to get into the data field. It's very, very critical for you to understand these different profiles and then think about what kind of expertise you want to get into, right? You might be a data engineer and ended up doing the report automation and becoming a BI specialist, because there's a very thin line difference there. But then people might expect you to give the answers that why my sales are down, why my orders in a particular category are down. And you will say that I'm a data engineer. Yeah, I only know how the data has to be stored in warehouses or data lakes. How come I know what is happening? I don't even know how much money you are spending on marketing campaigns, right? Similarly, a web analyst, he might say that, okay, I know how the data flows in Google Analytics, and this is only for the people who are coming online. There are so many offline purchases that are happening, right? How would I know? I'm not even looking at those numbers. So therefore, uh, the companies expect you guys to give the complete answer, but whereas what you are doing is you are just a part of this complete funnel, a small part in this complete funnel, and but you're doing your work very efficiently so that the next person or the previous person in your in this complete funnel, they can consume your data and then they can take it forward. Yeah.
So Rajat, we do have a question here
Sure.
in the chat box.
Okay.
Ganesh is asking, what is ETL developer and JD?
And JD.
JD
See,
maybe.
ETL developer, I can definitely tell you. So what is
Mhm.
happening, Ganesh, is that, right now, the data just flows into your data warehouse. So let's assume there's a customer database that you have created, right? Now, what is happening there is every single row is talking about that customer A came. He spent say 5 minutes on amazon.com. He saw page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4. He saw this category product, he saw this category product, he saw this category product. This was the price of product 1, this was price of product 2, product 3, product 4, like this. And like this, there's a database of all the millions of customers that are coming on a web portal, right? Now what ETL guy does is, and there are probably say 1,000 data points related to each entry that you make. Right now, you don't need to give 1,000 data points to the marketing guy or the product guy. So therefore, you write an ETL where you club this database with another database. You just use the most required data points, say 15 out of these 1,000 available, and probably 5, 6 from different database, and club it. And then you create a small data lake where you store this kind of a data. So this is what the work of an ETL developer is. What is JD? I'm not sure, but from JD, I understand it's a job description.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So I hope Ganesh.
Informatica developer, I am not very sure. I think Informatica is one of the tools that you are referring to, and I'm not sure if that tool is exactly into the ETL development process only. So probably I'll do a research and I can answer it separately to you. Shubham asked, hello, sir. Actually, I'm from mechanical branch. How can I choose which is best for me? Shubham, my question to you would be, you tell me what you want to do. It's not the other way around. You find your area of interest. Maybe you want to answer the daily questions like why are conversions down, why are visits down, why is we growing, why are we not growing, or maybe you are really interested in doing a lot of coding and just want to become a data engineer and write ETLs. Or maybe you are super anxious about being a data scientist and say that I want to create a recommendation engine in such a way that whatever product my platform recommends to a consumer, the consumer will say this is exactly the product that I needed, and the conversion rates like shoot up like maybe 2x or 3x. So it depends upon what kind of interests you have, what kind of problems you want to solve, right? So think from that angle first. There's never the best or the second best thing. It's all about the interest area at the end of the day. Okay, so moving ahead. Okay, why is data important? I just want to spend maybe next 5, 7, 10 minutes that why there is so much hue and cry around the data industry. Why everyone is just they're hungry for data. I have seen CEOs, they said that I don't need food to eat, but I need the data to see, because they really want to take that decisions that the business gets impacted. Why is data important? Because it provides a direction whether you are right or wrong. So let's assume you are not keeping a track of your weight, right? So suddenly what will happen is as soon as you are turned 45 or 50, you will realize that, okay, my weight has gone to 115 kg, and that is why I'm getting so many problems. I cannot run. I have a problem when I whenever I run, I have so many medical problems coming in. I have to cough a lot, and that's when you realize that, okay, yes, I never realized that my weight is growing. Therefore, if you start keeping a track of your weight every month, you will realize that, okay, 6 months ago I was 75. In 6 months it has increased to 80, and someday you will become conscious that, yeah, 85 and above is probably a higher weight for me, kind of a height that I have, right? And you know that weight and height are always correlated, right? So some way someone will tell you that, anyone, yeah, at your height, 76 and above weight is higher weight. So that's when you uh, keep a what do you say, close look at your weight, and you will say that, okay, fine, probably I need to do something. Maybe I need to exercise more, or I need to control the kind of food that I am eating. So this data, if you're tracking, that gives you a direction whether you're growing right or not. Every business wants to know whether they are growing or not, whether the business is growing or not. Therefore, the tracking of the number of orders, the number of customers, the number of revenue, the profit margin, the NPS, and everything, it becomes so mandatory that they want to track it every day, not even at a month level, every day level, right? It provides the answer what causes the change in the metric. So now that you know that your weight is increasing and your weight has gone to 90, let's assume, so you would like to know that, okay, why is it happening, right? Why my weight is continuously, I've been eating the same 2 chapatis in the lunch and 2 chapatis at dinner from the last 10 years, but why is it that my weight is increasing continuously? And then you will see that, okay, maybe in the last 3 years, 3 years ago, I used to run a lot. I used to do a lot of cycling, but in the last 3 years, since I've get into a job, I just lost these habits. I'm not running. I'm doing a lot of sitting work. And that's why this food that I'm eating, I'm unable to digest that. And that's why my weight is increasing, right? So it gives you an answer. Somewhere it will give you that answer that this is the reason behind why the numbers are increasing or decreasing, right? Data saves time and effort in fixing the problem. So let's assume, uh, now again, I'm taking a weight loss problem statement only. Let's assume you know that your weight is increasing, and you realize that, okay, maybe this is because I am eating more food now. I'm eating more junk food, and you keep a control on your junk food now. You say that rather than eating a pizza every week, now I'll eat a pizza in 15 days, right? And you have been doing this, and after 6 months, you still realize you're still 90 kg, right? So that means if you had the another data points of, let's assume, what is your exercise pattern and what is your eating pattern, at least you will realize that, okay, maybe I need to do more exercise rather than controlling my junk food. And it would have saved a lot of your time and effort. So whatever, after 6 months, you are realizing that, uh, I am not having junk food, rather I would be running. So all these, there's still a lot of uh, gain or loss you have done in these 6 months. And think from business angle, you were fixing a wrong problem, and after 6 months you realize that I was fixing a wrong problem. Actually, the problem was somewhere else. It helps whether your business decision was right or not. As I said, that the data, the tracking of the data will help you understand that whether you are in the right direction, or whether the decision that you took of not having junk food was right or wrong, and whether it's making any impact on your overall metrics or of your, let's assume, your weight gain in this case. Data helps you predict future and plan accordingly, right? For example, now you say that, I'm taking a cricket example now, and you say that, okay, we are winning all the matches. Team India says I'm winning all the matches. So they can predict that, okay, now that we are in full form, we have won over England and Australia and West Indies. Can I predict that in the 2023 World Cup, if we continue at the same range, we'll be one of the strongest team and we can win the World Cup, right? So that is how you predict, how the graph. I try to give a very simple example. I hope you can correlate with that. If you want, I can talk about business angle also. All right. So now coming to the crux of this webinar or a workshop, which is like, how can we convert this data into dollars, right? This might go in a bit detail. So please be conscious and try to understand what I'm trying to say. And in case it's not clear, you can raise your hand and ask me questions, right? How can it help convert data into dollars? First thing is by keeping a track of your revenue. See, the crux of every business is to earn money, right? Or to do business. So there are two things. One is how much business you are doing, and second is how much profit you are earning. Now, until unless you don't keep a track of it, you will not be able to know whether I need to do more or do less, right? So let's assume again you have a very small shop and it's a grocery shop and you are selling household items, right? Until unless you're keeping a track that, okay, last month I sold goods worth 25,000 rupees. Before that, I sold goods worth 22,000 rupees. Before that, I sold goods worth 20,000 rupees. Last month, I earned 20% margin. But last month, I earned only 15% margin. And this month, I'm earning only 10% margin. You will not be able to change the way the business is happening. And that's why you need to keep a track of it. And then you will realize, okay, maybe I'm selling more of those products where my margin is less. So instead of selling this product, probably I'll shift to another product. You would have seen if you go to any other shop and ask for a particular uh, product, say, let's say you say that, okay, give me a tea, right? And you say, give me Tata tea. He'll say, don't buy Tata tea, buy this tea, right? He's doing this because probably his margin on that product or his return from that product or selling that brand or kind of a affiliate money or bonus that he'll earn is more on that brand. That's why he's trying to redirect it to a customer and saying that please buy this product, right? And that is how his revenue will increase, right? Because he's also running that shop to earn more this way or that way, either by selling a product or by getting some bonus or by getting some incentive for selling a particular brand more than what has been promised with that brand. So therefore, it really becomes very critical, first of all, to keep a track of your revenue only, and that only how you can convert this data or this tracking into earning more and more, right? Do you want to you want me to expand more on this point, or should I just move to another point?
Please move ahead.
Okay. The second is fixing the leakages. So it might be happening. For example, again, I'm taking the example of a grocery store. Maybe what you are seeing is that I'm selling more and more revenue and I'm earning more margin every month, which is right and which shows that you are doing the right thing. But once you look at your overall business, you realize that I had so many products in my grocery store, something like, say, chocolates, something like, say, sugar, or maybe something like jaggery, which are actually eaten by rats, or they are getting melted because of summers, or maybe they are getting D-shaped, or they are perishable goods. These are sweets, and these sweets are actually getting expired after 1 week, right? So that means what is happening is, although I'm earning more, although I'm selling more, I'm earning more profit margins, but there is somewhere getting leakages in the products which I'm keeping. And that means I have invested in buying these products, but I am unable to sell it. So someday that will be a loss, maybe in future. Am I clear?
Right.
Great. I might go slow in this point because I think this is the crux of this particular workshop. And therefore, it's very important to understand that how the holistic view of each and every metrics in your business is so critical. Third is focusing on a prominent area. So again, you saw that, okay, in the last 3-4 months or 6 months, my sales are increasing and my margin is increasing. But what is my prominent area? Again, coming to the first example that I started, you saw that, okay, I was selling more t-shirts and I'm earning more margin on these t-shirts. But what you don't see is that my jeans are still lying there in my store. So probably you need to understand the prominent area. That means that going forward, I will only be buying t-shirts. I will not be investing any further on my jeans. And second is, for the next 3 months, let me focus on selling these jeans maybe at a cost price, maybe at just 5 or 10% of margin instead of, say, 50-60% margin, which I was earlier thinking, or maybe even at a loss of 10%. Why? Because if I sell it at a loss of 10%, and let's assume within a month I get my 2.5 lakh rupees back, I'll be able to buy more t-shirts and earn 100% revenue or 100% margin on that. So that means anyways, I'll compensate my loss of 10% and earn it, rather than just keeping that stock of jeans in my warehouse or in my store, which is just taking a lot of space. and it's not giving me anything in return, right? So so you are going to convert your data or prominent area and then convert that into dollars by earning more and more if you are applying these kind of strategies. Understanding the consumer requirement. So now there are data points, right? For example, you want to see that, okay, although I was focusing only on t-shirts, but then you try to find some from the ecosystem, you want to get this kind of a data that nowadays the youngsters, although they are looking for t-shirts, but they are spending more money on, say, sneakers, right? The kind of a shoes that you see the youngsters wearing these. And you realize that, okay, my profit margin in selling one shoe is probably 200% margin, right? So rather than, now you need to think from another thing that, okay, what is it that customers are buying? Customers are actually coming to a store to buy sneakers, and I can probably sell jeans or t-shirts to those kind of people. So therefore, what will you do is, one, your jeans are being sold. From that money, maybe you buy a bit of a stock of sneakers, because that becomes like a lead magnet. Now more and more people will be coming into your store, right? And they would like to see the pair of shoes, or maybe they are coming only for t-shirts, but then you can cross sell more products that, hey handsome, you bought this t-shirt, I think these shoes will go very well with you. Or maybe now that you have bought this t-shirt for 500 rupees, we have a special offer. I can give you this t-shirt and this jean for, say, 999, right? So you are getting now two products. You are selling, you are clearing your stock. So therefore, you need to understand the customer requirement. And from that requirement, you realize that, okay, youngsters who are anyways your target audience, they are coming to look for maybe the customized t-shirts. They want their name printed on a t-shirt, or they want a particular message. So can I put up a machine and I can say that, okay, you select your t-shirt, you select your design, and I'll print it right away, and I'll give it to you within a day's time, right? Maybe that's another business proposition. So this is how you can convert these data points into earning more and more, which means you are earning dollars, right? Or at least in Indian context, you can say you're gonna earning more rupees there, right? You remember what happened with Nokia, right? They never understood the customer requirements. They never understood how the world is changing, right? They couldn't encash that opportunity. But otherwise, just think, I remember when I went for my post-graduation, at that time, there was only Nokia. There were only Nokia phones. Motorola was like just one of them. That was the only another phone available in the market, but Nokia was one that was selling. But they never understood the consumer requirement. They couldn't encash that opportunity of creating a smartphones. Otherwise, they would have always remained a market leader, right? Whereas what iPhone did, they tried to innovate. They tried to understand that future lies in something else. Enough of these small phones. People need something like something new, right? And that's why they are innovating with each and every model, and that's what they are encashing. So this is how you need to understand your consumer requirements, which is again a data point, and then you can convert that into a dollars. And last one is building an ecosystem, right? Many a times what happens is, so let's assume there's a person, and I met this person, I met a person a few days back. He said that, you know what, I am into a business of, see, he was just trying to run a rickshaw, right? He was doing that work, and he said that I earn minimal income, whatever, just to sustain my family, and he stays in a kacha house, and hardly they would get 1 or 2 meals a day, right? But then he understand that, you know what, he said that when I was running a rickshaw, my income was very less. But then I realized that these days, all these Ola and Ubers, and then Ola bikes, they that is what is running, right? And that is why people are not even taking a rickshaw these days. So he said that I understood one thing, that anyways I am not living a good life. Let me take a risk. He managed the money from somewhere, and he bought an auto which he get connected with Ola Auto. And that's how he said that now at least I'm getting my customers every day. Earlier, I used to stand outside a mall taking my rickshaw. Why would a person from a mall will come out and take a rickshaw, right? There are very few people who will do that. But now he said that now I have an auto and I get continuous bookings, so I'm earning more. So this is how you try to convert the ecosystem, or you're building that ecosystem. And now more and more people are taking the I mean, they are more and more drivers are connected with Ola Auto or Ola Cabs or Ola Bikes. So even the Ola as a company is growing. And when company is growing, definitely they pass on some kind of incentive to their drivers also. So that means it's a complete circle that is happening. Everyone is growing. The customer thinks that I'm getting a facility, he's ready to pay more. The company is earning more. He's transferring some benefit of that to their drivers. Everyone is earning more. So this is how you build an ecosystem, and then you convert all these data points into some additional revenue, either for yourself or for your business or for your family. Any questions here? There are many more things that I can talk about, but I think at a very high level, these are 4 or 5 ways in which you can encash your data points and then convert that into more revenue for yourself or for the business.
Rajat ji,
Ajay.
are you listening me, please?
Yeah, I can hear you, Rajesh ji.
Just to make this session more interesting, I would like to put one discussion on board, if you allow me.
Please.
Suppose I am the leader in town. I have a one bestseller product A. I'm happy with the product and others. My business is in good shape. Just after a few days, I got a call from my dealer that we got one more product which is similar to your bestseller. You please showcase it. So I'm confusion. I'm already doing a good business by using other products and bestseller. So shall I take this opportunity? And while taking this opportunity, what should be considered? Because for me also, it would be picking a good point. And for because I'm experiencing so many students are here, MBA students are here. It should be a case study for them also. So if you could say something, please say.
So Rajesh, what I would just say is that, first of all, I need to understand what is the industry and what is the customer requirement. So I'll take you back by 25 or 30 years. Maruti introduced Maruti 800 car, right?
Right.
And they said it's my bestseller because everyone was buying Maruti 800. But at that time, only Maruti 800 was there, right? Now, think from a customer angle. Will the customer repeat after 5 years or 10 years? Will he come back to Maruti and say, give me another Maruti 800? Probably no, right? And that's why maybe they were going to the ambassadors or the Fiats, which were available at that time. So that is why it's very important to bring some kind of an innovation or another product, because right now your product is selling, right? But you never know, there are few customers who are not liking this, even your bestseller, right? Because of XYZ reason. Either it's not matching their requirement, or it's not in their budget, or they've already consumed it, they didn't like it, or they don't want to please repeat. So it's always good to have yet another product. We call it cannibalization in terms of marketing, where you say that although I have my this bestseller, but there are these options available as well. And that is what the whole world is moving into, giving the options. Yeah, सब कुछ है मेरे पास, तुम बोलो तुम्हें क्या चाहिए.
Right.
Again, my personal viewpoint, maybe I don't know what industry you're referring to, maybe it's other way around.
It's a general question. Suppose I'm already having a bestseller. I'm getting an opportunity to sell one more bestseller from the market. Suppose it is new in country or new in a town. So I'm in dilemma or confusion, because I can't say no to the dealer, and I don't like to lose the business also. By that time, if I would have the person behind all this scene, I might think the thing means I just track the business record of the new product and compare it with my product, and I will definitely allow that product into my store, but with like a full alert and cautions, that because my bestseller is still a bestseller. Means the equal situation. बहुत बारी ऐसा होता है, हम कुछ अच्छा सा बेच रहे हैं, हमारे सपोज की कोई पर्टिकुलर ब्रांड का जीन्स है, और सपोज द बाई कोई, एन एग्जांपल यू कैन टेक अदर similar one is coming, like you just take the example of cell phones. We have number of cell phones. So I'm dealing with, suppose Vivo, MI phones are also there. So the price is one reason, and the track record is one the reason, and demand of is also one reason. So I can't say no to the business in that situation. What would be the best step? It was my question.
राजेश जी, आई थिंक यू आर गिवन अ रेलिवेंट एग्जांपल। मोबाइल फोन आपका बेस्ट सेलर है, बिक रहा है, लेकिन हर बार मैं
जी जी
वही मोबाइल मॉडल तो नहीं बाय करूंगा, 2-3 साल बाद मोबाइल तो बदलूंगा ही। आजकल तो लोग 1 साल बाद ही बदलने लग गए हैं, राइट? तो
फीचर्स के
पीपल,
ऊपर डिपेंड।
फिर आपको नए नए कस्टमर लाने की जरूरत है थोड़ी देर बाद, क्योंकि रिपीट आपके पास नहीं आएगा। वो कहेगा यार जब भी जाते हैं राजेश जी के पास तो वही मॉडल है, राइट? तो आई थिंक डिपेंडिंग अपॉन द इंडस्ट्री, एंड आई वुड लाइक टू नो सम व्यू पॉइंट फ्रॉम all the students that we have here in the portal, that what is it that they want to say, and or maybe they can talk about कि कौन सी industry में it's okay to get another product और कौन सी industry में it's not okay to get another product.
Any example can be taken, like the hot one is a cell phone. Means
Yes.
suppose I have a dealer of a Vivo. I have a variety of cell phones. New products are coming also. In parallel, I got MI or Apple
Yes.
or like this.
Yes. True.
I can't say no to the business. I have to adjust it. But by the time means if I would be the student, I would definitely discuss this point. What would be the best point or a single point to say yes to the product in my store? यहाँ बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स उनको बात करना चाहिए इसके ऊपर।
We have got a comment from Mohammed saying, I guess many companies don't need to launch physical products that quickly over a span of time, a few months, as they can update some part of the model or product that people might like. For example, adding or modifying a feature in the same product.
I think today technology is changing very much in type in the means of product and many other applications. So I think I would like to go for both products.
So Pawan has also sent some message that for an energy industry, resource remains same, but in technology evolution, product changes. राजेश जी, आपको कुछ मिला, hints मिले फिर आपके क्वेश्चन पे?
नहीं, मुझे जो बात समझ में आ रही है कि मीन्स लोगों को पार्टिसिपेट करना चाहिए. God knows why they are hesitating to speak out, because this is the opportunity for them to just put their reasonings behind. ये बहुत ही सिंपल क्वेश्चन है. इफ एवरीवन इज लिसनिंग मी, बहुत सिंपल सिचुएशन है कि मैं एक अच्छा खासा मोबाइल फोन का डीलर हूँ. मैं मेरे पास मल्टी ब्रांड स्टोर है. सपोज एक बड़ा फेमस है गुजरात में भाटिया स्टोर. सो दे आर सेलिंग ऑलमोस्ट एवरी प्रोडक्ट. और एक नया प्रोडक्ट आ जाता है तो वो अपने डीलर को ना भी नहीं बोल सकता है, और उसको वो अपने बेस्ट सेलर को लूज भी नहीं करना चाहता है. तो उस टाइम में उसको ऐसे उसके दिमाग में ऐसी क्या बातें होनी चाहिए कि मैं एक्सपेक्ट करता था कि पीपल विल टेक ऑन दिस अपॉर्चुनिटी एंड put their views and reasonings and all the things. If I would have the dealer, I will first compare.
Aditya, do you want to say something?
मैम, अगर वो जो बेस्ट सेलिंग प्रोडक्ट है और वो जो नया प्रोडक्ट आया है उसका कंपैरिजन करके अगर जो लास्ट जो बेस्ट सेलिंग प्रोडक्ट है अगर वो बेहतर होगा तो वो ज्यादा और बेहतर हम उसको बना सकते हैं.
बिल्कुल.
क्योंकि मैं भी एक कंज्यूमर इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स गुड्स में काम करता हूँ. मेरा भी महाराष्ट्र में वेल नोन ब्रांड है. तो मतलब हम लोग इस तरीके से इसको सॉर्ट आउट कर सकते हैं, ऐसा मुझे लगता है.
Thank you for your comment, Aditya. So Rajat, would you like to comment here anything? We have got a few points from the audience.
Hello.
Yes, Pawan.
Ma'am, actually, if you take the electronic goods, whenever you can take the past 10 years onwards, there is always a tremendous changes in the technology. But whenever you see the electronic goods, whenever the technology gets updated, the cost also getting reduced. Except in 2019 to 20, the costs are getting got more high because of not because of evolution, because of everyone needed the technology compulsory because of this COVID.
Because
Once
of
the
the
COVID
demand.
is got, yeah, the prices also got hiked. And now if you see the sales also in Samsung or different area mobiles, now the sales prices are getting low comparing to 2021 to 22 because of it's a situational demand. Mainly in electronic industry, the prices are getting less and less. due to technological changes. I don't think so. We only stick to the one product because of if you compare with the Realme and Redmi and these are the N companies are same branded companies getting same features, but few only getting more sales because of that brand value, worth value. If you take the Samsung, they're giving the less options, but options the sales are same, but quality remains same. As Sar said, that Nokia company, on those days Nokia company the prices are okay optimum level,
Yeah.
but it's not meet to the customer demand. Now the company is not even existed. And same thing, same Motorola also did same mistake. But Motorola came back with the advanced technological updatement. Its sales also getting now medium level, okay, not bad compared to the rest of the things. Is it true? Is it true, sir?
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Thank you. First of all, thank you so much, Rajesh, for opening this debate. And I think everyone has kept his viewpoint in a very apt manner, relevant for any industry. I think
Right, right.
one another viewpoint that came to my mind is it's also about thinking whether you have a capacity to build into another brand or another product or not. So, for
Right.
example, I just taking an example of say a tire shop. There's a shop who deals in say let's assume MRF tires, right? Now he has a
Right.
very small size shop. He on of course the MRF tires are selling more. He might not have the capacity to invest or get into Goodyear or any other similar or Seat or any other brand. But then he'll say that okay, for me, what is best is to deal only in MRF and let me just stick to only this brand. So I think that's another mindset or constraints that he has. So he or she probably needs to think from that angle also,
Right.
right?
Please continue. Thank you very
Great.
much.
Thank you, Ji. So let's move ahead. Now, people, what happens is that, data analytics as an industry, I think it is one key thing that is required in this industry is the mindset, right? And why I'm saying mindset is because I have seen people and they are like part of my team or they were part of my team where their profile was only data reporting. Now he said, Rajat, earlier to extract this numbers that you needed, I used to take around 2.5 hours every day to create a report. But now what I've done is I have automated this complete process. And now by writing a code and running it, and in fact, automatically, it just takes me 5 minutes and I can give you these numbers at any given point of time. So I said, wonderful. But then I asked him that, okay, you know what, in this report, what is happening is that this particular matrix that you are showing me, let's assume NPS, I see this is going up, right? And you're doing, I think some wonderful work is being done in the organization. But can you tell me why our NPS is going up? What is it that people are liking now? Right. And then he said, I'm sorry, I don't know. Right. Now his mindset is only to automate that report or just to provide that data so that people can get it every morning. His mindset is not curious enough to get into and understand why these numbers are changing or whether they are changing or whether do I need to give a trigger, right? And or can I just see these numbers on at a every hourly basis and raise an alarm if something is going wrong? So it's more of a mindset issue rather than working in this data analytics industry. And what kind of a mindset do you need? I'll just go in a bit of a detail on that. So analytics mindset is one thing that I suggest everyone to always keep in mind once you go get into data field is to ask these three questions: what, so what, and now what. What does this mean is, so let's assume uh, you are taking care of number of restaurants that are there on Zomato, right? Your work is only to give this kind of a detail by country, by city, by region, by sector, whatever possible. And you have to give it to the regional head of Zomato, right? Now, what you are giving is that, you know what, let's assume at the beginning of a year, you had 10,000 restaurants, then this increased to 10,500, then this went down to 9,500, then this has increased down to 9,000, then 8,500, then it 8,700, like this, you're giving a report, right? So this is one report, and I just see these numbers and fine. But what is it? What is it telling me? It's telling me that the number of restaurants that are there on Zomato platform, they are reducing over the months, right? So what? Can we find it out? Is it good for my business or is it bad for my business? So then you need to find other metrics like, okay, now that number of restaurants is less, is it that my number of orders are still going up? Or there were people who earlier were ordering from a particular restaurant, but since they are not available on my portal, those people are not even coming now, right? So therefore, you need to connect other metrics to it, as in the number of orders, the number of orders per restaurant. Now that restaurants are less, do I need lesser uh, uh, delivery boys also or not? That is again that you need to see, right? Are consumers able to convert better or less because of this? That is another thing that you want to see. And now that you are seeing all these things, so this is, so what? So what is happening with the decrease in number of restaurants? What is happening is, at least I'm getting more orders. Very nice. I'm getting more visitors coming on my portal. Awesome. I am keeping more and more delivery guys. Even better. So this is how you have to connect the story that, okay, things have gone better by reducing this particular matrix. And now the question is, now what? So what does that mean? Now what it means is that earlier, probably I used to print a lot of these Zomato tapes. You see in every order it's there. So you forecasted in the beginning of year that for 10,000 restaurants, maybe we need to, order for say 1 lakh tapes. But now that my number of restaurants are lesser, or the boards that I put it in front of this, I need to forecast basis 8,500 stores and not 10,000 stores. So this is how you need to think about the next level of things and give this information to different uh, verticals of your organization. So you need to have this mindset, what is the impact of these change in numbers, rather than just sending and giving these numbers to your senior management. The second thing is being curious. Why? It said that there's a concept called 5 whys, going down to a level of 5 whys, right? You need to have that curious mindset. For example, you say that, okay, the conversion rate of my website has gone down, right? Why? And that's when you see that, okay, whether this has gone down on my mobile site or on my desktop or on my apps. And then you see that, okay, the conversion rate has gone down on apps. On mobile, it's okay. Desktop, again, it's okay. Next, why? Why this is going down is because then you see probably at a channel level that are people coming from my paid campaigns, or they're coming organically, or they're opening the apps or not. And you see that actually the app open rate has also gone down. Again, why? Okay, why is it that people are not opening my app, right? And then you see that, okay, historically, I was sending 5 notifications per day, but now they have reduced to 2 notifications per day because marketing team has changed something, right? And then another question, why the notifications are being sent lesser? And that's when you talk to the marketing team and you try to understand that, okay, earlier we were sending promotional notifications. We were also sending a generic notification, something like, it's a rainy day. Do you want to order food? And you were sending these notifications, but now you're not doing it. Now you're only sending the discount coupons. So like this, you be curious and ask next whys, and that's when you will be able to find the true cause of a change in the business metrics. And that is the kind of a mindset that you need. Third is understanding the business and the requirements. So one is, as soon as you join some company, first of all, spend a lot of time in understanding what this business is all about and get into the details of, so let's assume either you are part of the business intelligence team or the technology team, right? Don't limit yourself to only this team. Go and talk to the people in product. Go to the people in website development. Go and talk to the people in operations. Go and talk to the people in marketing. And you will understand that they also have a different mindset, different problems to solve. Once you start understanding all these concepts, that is when you will understand the complete business. And that is when you will be able to come to a solution to any particular problem, rather than just highlighting that, your NPS is going up, your revenue is going up, the number of customers are not repeating, and things like that. So understand the complete business, that why customers are not repeating. You need to understand, what is my business into? Are you comparing Zomato to a company like Ferns and Petals? They both are very different. Zomato is your day-to-day business. Ferns and Petals is more like occasion based, right? Cell phone is once in a year, maybe. Automobile is once in 5 years. Real estate is once in probably the lifetime, right? So you cannot compare a Zomato with a real estate. It's a very wrong benchmark to do. So you need to understand your industry, your business, and then the requirements of the kind of a problem that is being given to you. Fourth is, you need to provide the holistic view. So let's assume, as I said in the beginning, you are a data analyst and you are only taking care of your day-to-day business orders and ATV and revenue and things like that. So if you just limit your mindset to that thing, you will only be able to see that kind of a data, and you will be able to just give the trends. Maybe you will not be able to connect the dots and say that, okay, these orders are reducing or increasing because there was some branding done by the marketing guy. This has happened because now the world has opened up and there's no more COVID. People are going out, they are eating more, they are spending money more. That's why the complete ecosystem is growing. So you need to see the holistic view, right from supply chain. What things have gone improved? Are people getting? Do you know that if you open Zomato and you see that there is a restaurant who says that I can deliver an order in 45 minutes, and then there are restaurants that say I'm delivering food in 30 minutes. There was seen that there was a significant improvement in conversions when the restaurant says I can deliver in 30 minutes versus 45 minutes. Right now, how can you change your rest of the restaurants from 45 minutes to 30 minutes? Is it that this restaurant in faraway place, can I send my delivery guys to stand there outside that restaurant so that this can reduce the food items that they are dealing in? Is it that that takes a lot of time in preparation? Can we pre-order something? Because if I reduce this from 45 minutes to 30 minutes, I'll be getting more orders in from those restaurants also. So this kind of a holistic view is what you need to have. And last is that you need to know how to connect the dots. For example, you find a cause that this is the reason my orders are declining. You think about that cause. With the use of a data, you find that cause. You give it to the relevant stakeholder. So, for example, you say that people are exiting from your platform because as soon as they try to check out, you give them some promotions and offers, and that's why they are becoming hungry for more discount, and they leave your platform and try to search for a discount coupon. And in that journey, their mindset is now diverted. They are checking their emails and then WhatsApp, and they are unable to close that transaction. Right now, let's fix this problem. Rather than asking people to find a discount code, let us imbibe a automatic discount code 5%. So that people say that, okay, push discount mill. Right now, people are not going to a different platform, they are sticking with it. Now that you have made this change, keep a track of it, whether this has improved my conversions or not. ऐसा तो नहीं हुआ conversion rate तो वहीं का वहीं है, जो 5% discount दे रहे थे उसके कारण losses और बढ़ गए. ठीक है, so keep a track of that. Now that you're tracking, man, see the impact of this, that, okay, fine, by making this small change, I was able to improve my conversion rate of website from 5% to 5.2%. Now this 5.2% delta on my daily visitors is what is the business that you were able to convert by making this small tweak on your website, right? This is how you have converted the data into dollars. Understood?
Nice.
All right, so let's talk about the case study. Plants, why plants is not growing. So in my current organization, Ferns and Petals, basically we are into gifting. So if it's let's assume you are staying in Delhi and your parents are staying in, say, Kanpur. Now it's your mother's birthday. So you cannot go and see your mother. One is you can just call her and say that, okay, happy birthday, mom. The second thing that you can do is you can go to Ferns and Petals and you can say that, okay, let me send a bouquet or a cake or a t-shirt or a bangle set or a watch. So you see gift items there and you can order it for your mom. And you say that, okay, I want this to be delivered on 31st of August because that's when my mom's birthday is. You put all your address information and everything. On 31st, Ferns and Petals will deliver that particular product to your mother, and that is how you send a gift. It's on birthdays, it's on anniversaries, it's on occasions like Rakhi, it's on Christmas, New Year, whatever. So we deal in all these things. So a few months back, we were looking into the data and we realized that, plants. So we used to deal in plants, right? Plants is one of the products that we give. We saw that there was a significant drop in plants as a category. And everyone was surprised to see that, okay, overall business is growing, flowers, cakes, sweets, and all these other categories, they all were growing, some very significantly, some okay, but plants as a one category was degrowing significantly. What is happening with that? So what we did is, and this question was given to me, so this is how we solved this. First of all, I look at the overall trends, that what is happening with plants as search, whether people are searching about plants or indoor plants or plants online and all that. So we took this data from Google Trends, and we realized that actually the trend in itself is going down for plants as a category, right? Why that is happening? When we saw the trends, we realized that whenever there was a lockdown, there was a lot of demand of people searching for plants as a category, and they were ordering for plants because they said that probably now I need to sit indoor, now I have to work from home, or your company is giving you some budget to set up your workspace. So people started ordering for plants and they decorated their workbench at home, and that's why they were ordering more of this category. But overall, the trends are going down. So that means even if you're degrowing and the industry is also degrowing, so maybe you are at par. Now, what you need to compare is not that, say, I'm growing 100% in flowers and I'm growing minus 10% plants. So you don't compare plants and flowers. What you see is Google says that the trend has gone down by 10%, but my business is going down by 25%. So somewhere there has to be correlation in those numbers. The second thing that we saw is that, yes, it was happening that overall trends were down, but our business was even down more than that. And what is causing this? So the next thing that we saw was basically we created the complete journey, how people were buying earlier. Earlier is when there was a higher demand. What is it? Where are people coming from? So we realized that, okay, people were coming on a homepage, right? And when they were coming on a homepage, we used to show them some categories. For example, we were saying that, okay, you can order cakes, you can order plants, you can order chocolates, combos, and plants. But right now it was not visible on our homepage. And that is why probably lesser and lesser people are going in those kind of or searching for those kind of categories. And that is leading to the decline in sales, right? The third thing that we checked was the product dynamics. That means what kind of products were available last year and what kind of products were available this year. We went to the level that we find that, okay, what is the average price that was of the products that was shown to people last year versus this year. And we saw that we did some shuffling in that. And now we were showing a higher ticket item plants, right? So probably people thought that, okay, plants is too costly for me, let me not gift this, and he moved to a different category. So this was yet another consensus that we could find from the data. And the last thing that we did is we did a lot of competition analysis as well. So we went to all the competition website pages. We saw what is the average plant size, or as soon as I open that website, what is the average price that I need to pay for, say, the top 10, 15 products that I see. And we compared that with ourselves. And we found that, yes, actually we were promoting a lot of premium plants rather than normal plants. And historically, what we see is people were buying plants in the range of 500 to 700 rupees. Whereas if you open our website now, you were seeing the plants in the range of 1500 rupees. So that's why people are unable to connect to that. And they think that it's too costly, let me move away. And that's why these sales were going down. So we made a lot of changes. We made changes in the sense that we started promoting lower price range of products. We brought in new kind of plants. We understood that the comparison need not be done with the last year. It should be done by week on week trends of the last 2-3 months instead, right? We promoted plants as a category on the homepage so that people see that, yes, we are dealing into this. So this is how you look into the data, you get into details of this, and you take the corrective measure of what needs to be fixed. And then you keep a track of the numbers, and right the day we fixed these 3 things, the next week itself, we saw a significant growth in orders in plants. and that trend continued for next 7, 8, 10 weeks ever since now. And this is what we are tracking going forward also, so that any such category, now plant is something that got highlighted, but is there any other category where we are seeing this kind of a degrowth happening? Let it be a trigger on our weekly reports or daily reports. Hope you found it useful. I'm not getting into every detail or not showing you data as such, but I'm just giving you a context of this. So now I'll talk about another case study. So when I was with Makan.com, so Makan.com is basically a portal where you search for a house, right? You will be searching either for buy or rent, right? And you can search that, okay, let's assume you moved into a different city, you moved into Gurgaon, and then you can search that, okay, I need a 2 BHK for my family. So you'll go to Makan.com, you will search for a 2 BHK, you will say that, okay, I want to see Gurgaon, and then you will get a few houses, and then you see that, okay, which locality I want to stay, you finalize the house, you will get a, need to drop your name and number, and then some broker will call you, and then he'll take you for house visits and everything. Now, what was happening is that once we were, we rebuilt the complete marketing, complete business model of Makan.com way back in 2016. And and we were tracking all these numbers, and we realized that organically, what does organically means? You're going on google.com, you're searching for 2 BHK. So let's assume you're coming here, you're searching for 2 BHK on rent in Gurgaon, right? This is what you searched. And now Google opened this. So if you see, this is my organic searches, right? Because there's no ad, right? And if you can see, there's this Makan page, right? Now what I did is I searched for a 2 BHK on rent in Gurgaon. I'll open this page, and this is all the 2 BHKs available in Gurgaon that will appear here, right? And then people can see that, okay, as per my budget, I can select a particular house and then get connected with a broker. Okay. Now what was happening is, while we were doing all these things, we realized that our organic traffic was growing very, very significantly from the last few months. But in the last 1 year, the conversion rate from that channel stayed same, right? It has not changed significantly. It was, if it was 5% earlier, it's still 5%, right? Now we were a bit surprised that if people are, more and more people coming, ideally, they should be converting also better, right? So the conversion rate should go up. So of course, this business problem was given to me and my team. We fetched a lot of data, and then we realized that, okay, organically we created a lot of hypotheses at a city level, at a device level, at a channel level, at whatever possible locality level, whatever possible, we could see that data, and we couldn't find any trend as such of an issue, right? The numbers were consistent, more or less. So I talked to the SEO team, and we talked about, okay, how this problem is, what is happening. And from there, we realized something, that, you know what, there was a separate set of data, that what are the keywords being used in Google, which are bringing traffic on our platform. So I extracted that data, and we worked on it, and we realized that in the last 6 months, especially, there's a lot of change in the way people are writing on Google. Earlier, they were just writing rents in Gurgaon, or rental houses in Gurgaon. Okay. And this is what they were doing. And then they were coming. And so maybe there should be a Makan link now. So they were coming on this page, right? Over the time, people just become more curious. They have started writing phrases on Google, and they started, instead of writing the rental houses in Gurgaon, they started writing 2 BHKs in Gurgaon, 2 BHK properties in budget of 15,000 in Gurgaon. Like this is the kind of change in trend that was happening, right? So what we did is we extracted this complete data, and then we filtered out where we can see some kind of a number written. So 2 BHK, 3 BHK, 4 BHK, 1 BHK, then some rental amount being written, 15,000, 20,000, whatever it is, right? And similarly, people are writing by owner, by broker, these kind of a words. So we created that list, and we segregated the data, and we saw a significant change. For example, almost a year back, around 80% of the people were writing house rentals in Gurgaon. and only 20% were writing 2 BHKs or 3 BHKs. But over the last 6 months, this number increased to 45 and 55 ratio, right? So more and more people were now writing phrases. Now what was happening is, let's assume people write 2 BHK and they were coming on this page, right? Now, luckily here, I see a lot of 1 BHKs on the top, but sometimes it was happening is people tend to see 4 BHKs and 3 BHKs on the top, and people think it's too heavy or too costly for me, right? So they would exit the website. So now that we find this data, then we sat with the SEO team and we said, what is it that can be done with this? And they said that we can create a particular filtered page. So automatically on Google, we will read whether people are applying, asking for 2 BHK or 3 BHK. And that is the kind of a page that we will create. So if now I search for 2 BHK on rent in Gurgaon, and if I come to say makan.com, right, I will only see 2 BHK houses here. If you see, there's a just 2 BHK filter already applied, right? So that means I could at least see all the 2 BHKs, and now I can see that, okay, this is house, with, is this within my budget or not? And by doing this only, we were able to improve our conversions or leads by around 15 to 20% at that time. And this continued. So that is the kind of value that data brings in. This means that conversion improved, means more leads coming in, more brokers and more builders were giving us more money because they know that they are helping us get connected with the right person. All right, people, I am more or less done from my side. In the end, I would just say two things. One is stay connected with me. That's my LinkedIn link. So you can get connected with me and you can understand who I am, what I do, and all those things, and really ask me relevant questions. And as initially Pratibha said that, I'm also over and above the data analytics professional, I'm also a happiness coach. I've written a book and all that. Just in case you are interested in being more happier and conscious about your life, this is the book that I have written. You can go and check it out. And in case you are interested, you can just order for it. Now I am open for any questions. I'm just stop sharing anything. And I'm more than happy to answer any business question, any career related advice, or any other thing that you want to ask me.
Hi, I'm Neeraj.
Hi, Neeraj.
So, as you have said, to convert data into dollar, I believe that it's mainly possible for big businesses or companies. They have already the ecosystem of people and the data present with them. See, for example, if you take Ferns and Petals, I can't get the data what you are using, and like the many companies are there. So like an individual like me, I have no business as of right now. So if ever I wanted to get into the field, so I'll use an example of a financial sector. Like if you take stocks as an example, any person can get the data of stocks. So I'll take the data and I might use the skills, or I might experiment with those, and I might get an information or something like that. So for an individual like me, do you know any sectors where I could benefit from them or I could make money? Like I would like to know if there are for an individual persons, because businesses and companies, it takes a lot of time and procedures, and I think that it's a big process.
Right, Neeraj. So I think you have already answered it somewhere. That stock market is one thing that you can do because that is open for a general public. But of course, more and more, rather than having access to the data, I think it's more about the business knowledge and stock market knowledge that you need to have. Second thing that I usually suggest everyone is to keep a track of your income and expenses, right? I'm not sure if you're a student or a working professional, but as soon as you are into a working, make sure keep a track of all the incomes that you are having, either from your salary or rental or investments or whatever sources you have. Write it down. Keep a track of all your expenses. Once you keep a track of your expenses, you will realize that maybe you are wasting a lot of money on eating out, right? I'm just thinking aloud. So, and that's when you realize that, okay, maybe my 30% of the salary is actually going in eating out. So what does that mean? How can I save control that? Maybe I need to, ask for a tiffin services because they are reasonable, or should I hire a cook? who can cook a food for me at home? That's another option. Do I need to, rather than going to all these buffets and premium restaurants, can I just go to a normal restaurant? Probably yes. Do I need to share the food cost with my colleagues and order collectively because I'm wasting a lot of food? That's another thing. So this is how you are saving money, and saving money is more like earning money, right? So that's another example where you can use this data in converting that into extra dollars.
Okay, fine. I have another question as well. So
Sure.
coming to my career, I've graduated in this year only. So
Mhm.
at present, I find it difficult, to get into the field of data science in data analyst jobs or business analyst jobs. So what would your suggestion would be, like how to get into this company exact role of what I want? I find it difficult in the present situation of me.
Right. Neeraj, you are a graduate, right?
Yes,
What, engineer?
yes, in computer science.
In computer science. All right. See, Neeraj, one is I don't think there are lack of opportunities sometimes. So at an entry level, what we usually do is we take a analytical based test for candidates, right? And when I say we, I'm talking about the data industry as such, right? Because we know that you have not worked in data in the past. So we'll do a lot of, you remember all these CAT examination, engineering, JE, and all these tests, very similar tests we used to conduct. And then we analyze that at least a person has a good problem solving or analytical thinking, right? And that's when you get an opportunity to work into a data organization, right? If that is not working for you, then probably you need to go into the next level of courses, something that probably EduBridge is also providing, or there are many more universities and many more B schools now. They are getting into data analytics, so probably do a master's in that, and that is when you can get into the field of data analytics and data science.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. There's a question from Palak. Hello, sir. I have been learning the basis of data analysis, Excel, SQL, Tableau, and Python. Please guide me on how to get a job in this field and what projects to do. Palak, are you, you have an experience also or not really?
No, sir.
No. All right. So I think then again, this is more like a similar guidance that I can give you. One is you can do some freelancing projects. You know these portals like
freelancing.com and
yes,
Upwork kind of portals.
exactly. Yeah, maybe something like that. So go there, you will find some projects which are for 1 month, 2 month, maybe. Do those projects and put it as a part of your CV, and that is how you can get to a something like an entry level jobs for sure. Or again, as I said, do a master's in data analytics or some more study or some certifications in that, and that will help you.
I can see Pavan Kumar raising a hand. Pavan, do you have any question?
1 second, ma'am. So good afternoon, sir. I'm quite impressive with your webinar today, but you gave in an for layman also can understand all the data things easily. Really, I'm very thankful to you, sir. So one doubt is I having that you explain the different roles in data, like a data engineering, data analyst, web analyzer, and automated, and a BA developer, and data scientist. Sir, can you lucidly tell that what are the set of skills required for each role?
Sorry, what is the what?
What
Skill
for
set?
what? What are the set of the skills required for each role, like a data engineering, data analytics?
All right, sure. Right. So, see, I think if you are getting into web analytics sort of a role, then probably you need to be very efficient with Google Analytics or Adobe Analytics. Any one of them will work very well. If you are getting into, say, data analyst kind of a role, then probably what you need to learn more about is how to do automate. And for that, probably SQL is one of the best languages to understand, and maybe Python or R, right?
Okay, sir.
If you are getting into a BI kind of a role, get yourself a professional, become a professional in either Tableau or Power BI. They two are like dominating at this time in the industry. If you want to get into data engineering, I'm sorry, I'm the worst person to answer there because I've never worked in that kind of a role. But I think that is when you need to understand all these technical languages so that you understand how to store the data well and create the pipelines and all those things. So that is something you need to do. And in case you are getting into advanced analytics, clustering, modeling, predictions, and all those, Probably that is also when you need to be either very efficient with SQL or R or Python, plus the statistical modeling and understanding of all those fundamentals of statistics.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, and thanks for appreciating.